All right, we're going to head into a 3D text exercise. Just as an aside here, and I probably mentioned in the first video that we're going to be doing 3 exercises. I've sort of decided in the meantime to just do that first exercise, which is a part 1 and part 2. That's one that incorporates animating text, mask layers, and sound, and then this 3D text. The blur text, which I talked about probably, I'm going to save for later, if at all. You guys have a lot to do in this coming week, so I just want to sort of simplify this, so it will be simply this 3D text exercise. So with that said, hopefully you have your 3D text PDF and you're looking at it, and in lieu of time, I've sort of skipped all the way ahead because everything up to about step 16 should be pretty straightforward. Creating a new document, I want you to modify it again, do that 800 by 600. You're creating a new symbol, and this time it has to be a movie clip. Make sure your twinkle, as mine states over here, because I can see by the little icon, is a movie clip, not a graphic. This won't work with a graphic. You're drawing the rectangular and the text tool, just writing twinkle, and making it a decent sized font, red, same things as that first exercise. Now, we're going to head into this at about step 16, so we're going to create 2 layers. And one of those layers, which I've already done, has a motion tween. So at step 17, create a motion tween on layer 1 from frame 1 to frame 200. Okay, so I'm all the way up here at 200, and I've created a motion tween. Okay, it's a simple motion tween of this twinkle movie clip. Okay, it's not a graphic, it's a movie clip, but we can sort of tween it just as we would tween anything else. Okay, now what we're going to introduce is this idea of 3D rotation, and this is a little finicky, as the little asterisk at the bottom of the 3D text PDF states. And as you sort of get used to it, you'll get used to sort of playing with it and sort of creating this effect. But it is a pretty neat effect in relation to 3D, because it takes this very sort of flat thing that we work with Flash and makes it a little more dynamic and a little more robust. So we're going to create the motion tween. Here I am at step 17, create a motion tween from 1 to 200. And then we're going to create a motion tween on layer 2 from 100 to 300, just so we have sort of a bit of a dynamic sort of movie here. So I'm going to insert keyframe. I'm going to take that up to frame 300, insert a frame there. Okay, go back to frame 100, grab my twinkle again. I'll put this sort of bottom left, and we'll maybe have this guy move up to top right, and again we're just going to have 2 different versions of this twinkle doing 2 different things. Okay, so step 17 and 18, create a motion tween on layer 1 from 1 to 200, and on layer 2 from 100 to 300. So I have 2 simple motion tweens going here. Okay, now the last step, which is really sort of all this exercise is made up of, is it says click on the last frame of the layer 1 tween. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to this layer 1 tween ends at frame 200. Okay, and I'm going to click on that. Okay, and I want to choose this 3D rotation tool. Okay, and before I choose the 3D rotation tool, I'm going to actually zoom into this thing so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so all you're seeing here, I'll zoom out, is sort of me zoomed into that twinkle. And I want to zoom in because this is where the 3D rotation tool can be seen a little bit easier, and I can sort of explain it a little easier. So I'm going to hit my 3D rotation, and you're going to see this sort of circle or crosshair or whatever you want to call it sort of appear. Okay, now as things relate to space, we often have an x-axis, a y-axis, and in this case a z-axis. A z-axis is going to be the sort of 3D portion of it. An x-axis will sort of let something sort of rotate, okay, like this. We'll sort of rotate around. Okay, a y-axis will just sort of let it rotate around like that. Z-axis. Okay, now Those things are allowing us to sort of rotate, sort of mess with the twinkle as it is on the timeline. This orange circle around the edge I find to be a little more sort of useful and easy in terms of working with the 3D rotation tool at the beginning. What this is what's considered sort of a free transform, and it allows us to grab this and then alter the X, Y, and Z axes, if that's a word, all at once. So if I grab this, I can sort of move around and I can create something that looks sort of 3D. So I'm going to sort of move this, and it's a little finicky to begin with. Okay, I'm going to sort of flatten it out. Okay, so I'm going to let go there. Okay, now we can always grab that thing again and sort of make it come back. We can sort of change how it is. We can move around. We can make it appear larger, smaller. I like to sort of flatten these things out because it tends to sort of exaggerate the 3D sort of effect. Okay. I'm going to go up to my frame 300, and I'm going to alter each of these tweens. So I'm going to go up to 300, so my second one, and I'm going to sort of alter this one in some fashion. Okay. Now, what I've basically done is created two different tweens that are doing two different things. Okay. And as you see, these sort of come in, this twinkle sort of rotates, that twinkle sort of rotates, and we create the illusion of sort of 3 dimensions. Okay, this is a sort of simple tool in Flash, but it's a way to sort of enhance something in the visual sense. Okay, so what I want you to do is alter those two tweens, both at the end of their tween. So in one case, it's going to be at frame 200, and the other one it's going to be at frame 300. So when we are done, we have something that looks a little something like this. So that twinkle comes in, sort of rotates out. As you sort of look at these, you'll realize, oh, I sort of like what that's doing. I think this is too exaggerated. And you can go back and simply alter via the 3D rotation tool your bit of text. Okay. So that's it for the 3D text. Remember, you basically have 3 videos today. You have the text masked and mask layer and sound video. That's in 2 parts, so that's 2 videos. And you have your 3D text here. Remember, I'm not doing the blur this week. I think you have a lot to do in terms of working on your project in these 2 exercises. So that's it. Questions, concerns, please email me.